Matches Balone.
Hey YouTube, this is Matches Balone bringing you guys a DC TV toy box review. Today we're going to be looking at the DC Collectibles DC Comics Icons Batman. So before we jump into the actual figure review, I kind of want to go over the packaging. This is the box the figure comes in. It's an open window box. You would see the Batman action figure with all his accessories. On the side, you can read DC Comics. On the bottom, we see the Icons logo with the circle and the character's symbol. We also get the DC Collectibles logo. Right here on the side, we get the character's name. It's Batman. And on top, we get a stylized one. On the other side, we also get the same stylized one. Batman's the first figure in this toy line. We get the Batman logo, DC Comics Icons, Batman Last Rites, and DC Collectibles. Last Rites is where this character design is based off of. In the back, we get to see all of the Wave 1 figures, as well as a close-up image of the action figures. We also get DC Comics, Icons, we get the sculptor, the designer, and DC Comics logo. So yeah, that's all for packaging. The figure itself is really cool. Like I said, you get the figure and you get accessories. You have a total of 5 accessories, including 2 batarangs, 2 extra hands, and a grapple line. To kind of give you guys a close-up image, here are his batarangs. I want to say these look great. These are very small, but they cut them out really well, that there's no like extra plastic sticking out anywhere. So I think they did a really great job of that. Something I really like about this toy that I think it's unique to this particular Batman toy is that there's this grapple line. Usually, just to show you here, this is an extra hand. This is his left hand. It is attached, so you can't remove the grapple line. So you do have, I guess, a total of 5 hands. But yeah, something that's unique to this figure, it is a grapple line, because usually the Batman characters, they usually have grappling hook. So I think this is really cool. And something that I noticed on this is that there is a ball attached at the end of the line, and then a hook attached to the other end. And so you could try to pry this on something, and you can kind of have Batman slide across his line. So I think that's really cool and definitely very unique to this Batman. I could be mistaken, I haven't bought in every Batman action figure in life, but this is definitely the first I can remember that included something that's different to the Batman arsenal. The last accessories he has, it's also some open-handed hands, I guess. The figure itself comes with closed-fisted hands, and then he has these hands that are open. They are designed to hold the batarangs. So here we see the batarang. So you can kind of see it right there. It does grab on tightly, so you don't have to be worried that he'll drop it and you guys will lose it. It has a pretty tight grip on it, so that's really good. Both hands can hold, one batarang. And yeah, if you guys wanted to switch out the hands, it's very easy. These figures are stiff, but I'm sure after you play with them for a while, they should be a little more looser and a little easier. But basically, you want to pull the hand out of the Batman figure, and then you just want to put the new hand inside of his right there. And so that sound, I put the wrong hand on the wrong arm. But that sound, it kind of signifies the clicking. It signifies if it's in or out. So for the rest of the review, I'm just going to keep the closed-fisted hands. There's no need to have the open hands. But yeah, so articulation on this guy is really good. Let's start with the head. His head does move left and right, and you could move it all the way around. You just kind of have to, force it a little bit. Like I said, these figures are very stiff. They're very tight. So anything you should be able, you can kind of hear already that twisting sound because it's like really tight on. They don't really look up or down too well. I think he just looks straight forward, and then you can kind of shift him a little bit. But as far as going up, unfortunately, he doesn't have that. So his arms, they do move out and in. You can also move them, forward and back. So the cape right here could hinder it a little bit, just in the sense that you would have to put a little more force. But this is a very soft plastic cape, so you could move it a little bit. So it shouldn't hinder it too much. You should still be able to, like right here, rotate it all the way around. It's just a matter of maneuvering it and putting, some extra force behind that. But yeah, the arms, they do swivel right here. They do have double jointed elbows. And he has a rotation right here at the hand. The hand itself can also move inward and outward. One thing I want to point out, these figures are designed to hide their articulation points. So if you kind of notice, I'll rotate this. If you kind of notice the knees and the arms and the torso, they do have their articulation points and the cuts, but they're kind of sculpted in a way that it all blends to I guess the natural body, and kind of give it a more realistic just a more realistic take on that, and I think that's really cool. Unfortunately, it does hinder the movement a little bit. If we look at the ab crunch here, he doesn't really have that well of an ab crunch. That's as far as he moves forward, and then this is as far back as he moves. So you can see that both, they're a little hindered. He doesn't go too forward or too back, but I think that's an even trade-off. I rather lose some movement and kind of have a good-looking figure, But yeah, the legs themselves. One second. The legs themselves can extend this far out. Also, I kind of want to point out that because they don't have these massive cuts, he doesn't have this like weird kind of crotch pit. A lot of figures, they give us like this really weird big area. So I just want to point out that I like it that it is all a lot more seamless. So, but yeah, the legs themselves can move this far forward and this far back. Something I always point out is that the figure itself seems to be going outward instead of back, but still it looks good. Just like the elbows, the knees are double jointed as well. Again, kind of giving us that more natural movement. And I think the knees themselves are really good representation of hiding those articulation points. I normally have these guys on display. I don't really play with them a lot, so I kind of like it that if I put him somewhere, he kind of looks like a little statue instead of an action figure. We do have rotation here. Right here in the calf, there is a calf cut. This is a separate, I guess, piece, the boot. And then the foot itself can move forward and back. It also kind of has a ball joint in front, so you could rotate the foot sideways. Yeah, that's pretty much all for articulation. He doesn't have any type of rotation in the torso, but like I said, that's I'm guessing that's a limitation because of the design of these figures. Overall, I gotta say this is a really great action figure. I definitely like the design. I think it's a very reminiscent to Batman Hush, Jim Lee art style. kind of like that 2006 era of Batman. I'm a fan of the gray and blue costume. I know that's something in debate, between fans. I like the gray and blue costume. I'm more of a fan of the Batman oval, but definitely this looks nice. This is a painted bat insignia and sculpt, but still it looks nice. The paint detail on the figure itself looks really good. Something I want to point out is that it's pretty much a matte color paint on the figure itself as far as the costume. But then they have a glossy paint for the boots and the gloves. So I think that's kind of a really interesting design choice. But yeah, there doesn't seem to be any type of paint mishaps. I know a lot of action figures, because they're mass produced, they get painted real fast, and so there can be some paint bleeding or just some paint mishaps that you don't want this area to have that color. So far, I haven't found any on this figure, and I'm truly glad for that. Something I always want to point out is the eyes, right? In the eyes, that's a very easy area to kind of get the paint messed up and kind of have it bleeding out. But I have looked up close. I don't think the camera will pick it up, but you can kind of see that only the pupils are painted white. Everything else, is painted in that navy color for the cowl. Also it has a different skin complexion for the face, so that's good. I also want to point out that they even went ahead and kind of sculpted details. So if you look at the belt buckle, or I guess his utility belt, and you see his pouches, you still see the sculpting of where the flap for the pouch would be and the little clip. I also like that this is a different color, and then they have a different color for the belt buckle. I really like the small touches. If you kind of pay attention right here on his abs, you kind of see some of the I guess the I don't know, rugged lines, wrinkles of his costume. I think those are interesting choices. Same thing right here in the shoulder. I'm not sure if that's again some more wrinkles, or is that like some type of scratch. Like some type of like enemy scratch, but he seems, I believe the wrinkles, because he seems to have it here. He also has it some on his trunks. It's kind of hard to see. You have to like kind of move the light, but I like that they're even adding small details like that to kind of say like, oh, this is a cloth costume, and so it's not going to be completely straight. Definitely like that. Something that I definitely like on this figure itself is his cape. His cape is made out of not a soft, but it's just a softer plastic. It's still very hard. It's still very stiff. But I like that it is soft, that you can move it. You can see, obviously you can see me playing with it right now. Something I really like is that even in the cape itself, they design all these ridges, to kind of show the movement of the cape, how it would drape over the body. I definitely like this area, right? A lot of people know that Batman usually covers his whole body with his cape, and so this just seems like he threw it over his shoulders, and this is some more of the extra cloth kind of bulging up here. So definitely like that. I also want to point out that it doesn't just drape down, it drapes over, but then it kind of goes out, and I think it's small details like that kind of really make this figure very unique. Also, I don't know if you guys can notice, but it doesn't just go down, it kind of goes to the side. You can see it a little bit more in the front. You can kind of see there is more cape towards his right side. So again, I think that's really great and awesome, and definitely unique to this figure, at least from my experience. But yeah. Overall, I think this is a really great action figure. I definitely recommend it to Batman fans. I recommend it to DC Comics fans, to just action figure collectors in general. As you can see right there, he does a really good job of standing on his own. I didn't even have to play too much with his feet. But yeah, I do have the rest of Wave 1. I will be reviewing more videos in the future. Comment down below, give me any suggestions on how to improve these videos. I want to dedicate this channel to mainly toy reviews, so any tip, any criticism you guys have will be greatly appreciated. But like always, guys, comment down below, like the video if you like it, dislike it if you didn't, and subscribe, and look forward to more videos. Thanks and goodbye.